Oh yes, I'm back at this. This is a woodland I used to make a lot of videos at, and it's, you would think with the lockdown and everything that the place would get more use, and this is the footpath into the wood, and it's very overgrown with brambles, so and you know, thicket, and it hasn't gotten much use at all, so which tells me that people haven't been coming here, and that's quite surprising, because you would think with the Rona, the Queen of Corona, that they would be here more often, but sadly it does not seem to be that way. The footpath, smell of wild garlic. The footpath is well overgrown. Actually, it's a bit better here. I have to watch my footing. Yeah, I mean, this is a sort of like the leftover of a, you know, a man-made forest of sticker trees, which are they're not native to Ireland. But this forest is not bad because there's plenty of space between the trees for birds to fly in and for animals to come in and out of, so it's nice that way. It's a bit, you know, some of these industrial forests, they plant the trees too close together, and you know, birds, they become basically deserts, and no sunlight can penetrate. But this one, look, isn't too bad at all. Now, this is the part I love, when it starts to get real quiet, because I'm getting a little bit deeper into it. And again, this isn't the great woodlands you get in other places, but it's got its own vibe and its own kind of style. It's nothing special, but I like it. Now, I'm using a selfie stick here as a kind of a gimbal. Whoop! As a kind of a gimbal. There's a weight on the end of it, and I'm holding it. Oh, we're getting really messed up here. Yeah, it's terrible how it's been neglected. There used to be a really good path through here. Look at it. That's a shame. I don't have a good pair of boots on me. So I'm not going to venture in too deep, and I've got to be somewhere in an hour anyway. But I got lost in this woodland one night. It was a very strange experience, about 3 years ago, and I honestly could not find my way out. Even the problem was, the last time I'd been here at night, there was enough opening between the trees to see the stars, so I could tell which, you know, I could actually navigate by the North Star and to get out. But this time it was overcast, and I got so lost, it was bizarre. And the blackness of, I had my mobile phone, my cell phone, as Americans call it, was the only light to get me through the woods, and it was really tricky. And it took me ages to get out, and I ended up, like, at points crawling on my hands and knees. I got really mucky. I got cut to bits by brambles and nettles. But there it was one of those good experiences, because it's those kinds of things that when they take you from the modern world, they make you realize how absolutely artificial your existence is in many ways. You know, you find out how artificial your life is, your existence, your comforts are. And I think that's has played a huge part in the whole reaction by the average Westerner, especially to the last year and a half of the pandemic, or the situation, the COVID situation. I think people know how close to annihilation they are by virtue of their modernity. That if it all fell apart somehow, it wouldn't be as much fun as a zombie apocalypse film. It would in fact be hell on earth. I often find it interesting that these zombie apocalypse films, they never show how the sewer system breaks down. I was watching I Am Legend not so long ago, and he's living in his plush apartment in Washington Square in Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, and the whole place would have stunk of shit because of the sewage system would not have been pumped out. The subways would have also filled with water, and the place would be teeming with rats. And that would have been the main reason why predators would have moved in. Would have been because of the rats. In fact, the rats would have been more of a danger than the zombies in many ways. And all because the electric pumps that work the sewage system in Manhattan wouldn't have worked anymore. And there would have been rats coming out of his toilet and everything, but they never covered that. You see, the American films don't like the nitty-gritty. You know, they want the action hero to battle it out and be able to cook steaks and stuff in his apocalyptic world. But if there was a true... The Road was very close. The book version of The Road was good, but that mostly took place in rural areas as they were travelling across the countryside. And Cormac McCarthy's book is pretty gruesome that way. It's actually a brilliant book. And the film came kind of close to there, but if you were to do it in an urban environment, no post-apocalyptic film I'm aware of has ever done proper tribute to what would happen in a city. Mainly because people, you know, like have hang-ups about like toilet and things like that. But you would be living in a sea of shit and disease and rats. There'd be so many rats that it would be enough to sustain wild predators coming in. And I suppose in this video let's talk a little bit, just imagine it happened. Just imagine you live in an urban area. And I'm not talking about suburbia, I'm talking about an urban area. So like a town with a population of 100,000 and above, say. A densely built up and populated in the middle. And it went down. The whole thing went down. The world went down. The power grid was knocked out by something or other. Your chances of survival would be extremely low. It gets better if you're in the suburbs, but as we know, when you get into the suburbs, the main danger in the suburbs is the suburbanites. They will start coming after you if they think you're a threat to them not living another 15 minutes. The wickedness and the evil of the suburbs will be amplified in an exponential direction, that even the very concept of being in the suburbs during an apocalyptic breakdown would be an existential threat in and of itself. You are in the suburbs, you are in danger. So your main enemy there would be your neighbours as they go further into psychosis and panic. I mean, look how they behave with things as they are right now. Just as they are right now, with the lockdowns and the social distancing and the masking, look how crazy they act. Now amplify that by it going down. And this is why you who live in those kind of neighbourhoods, if you're serious about surviving, because we don't know what's going to happen this autumn with flu season and these variants going out of control caused by the needlecraft. We just don't know what's going to happen. And those of you who live in those areas, you really start thinking of barricading your basement, having even bricks and having enough down there to last 2 or 3 months. You know, I know it sounds crazy, but you'll be more in danger there of your locals than you ever would be from any wild animal or anything, or a disease. And you've got to find a way to sort of barricade yourself in your basement, maybe or if you have a basement or some kind of corner of your house, brick up your windows, put a steel door on it, and have enough food and water for a couple of months, and a way to go to the toilet. The best way to do that would be to do it into some kind of bags or something. If you're above the ground, you can make some kind of elevated toilet where it could just go out into the ground or out, something like that. But there's lots of ways out of that. Also, you'll be eating a lot less, and so you won't be going as much. But that's an issue you have to deal with. And then just wait for them to be all your neighbours to die or kill each other, and then you would have an outbreak of vermin and rats that would feed upon their bodies, and then the cats and the predators of the wild would move in the suburb, the foxes, everything, no matter where you live. There's wolves where you live, even all birds, like birds of prey. Cats would be fantastic. Cats will be humans' greatest ally in all this would be the cat. And I often wonder if that's why we've come in recent years. Cats rule the internet. Cats are so popular now. Lots of people have cats. It's almost like the cat has come into our world in bigger numbers than ever in order to protect us from the possible outbreak of vermin in an apocalyptic situation. Again, as always, your best hope is in the countryside or in a small rural community where you trust and know your neighbours, an agricultural community, and that's your best hope. There's, even in this place here, with the right tools and if you had the right strength and someone to help you, you could build shelters real easily and protect yourself and barricade yourself in. The normies wouldn't come in here. They'll be all down at the government buildings begging for their pot noodles and their ramen, and killing each other over a bar of chocolate or something. And you won't be doing that. That's because you are going to be, and you are right now. I know what you're storing up food. I know because when I go to all the Tesco's around where I live now, I can't get the tinned potatoes anymore for 50 pence. Because you've all bought because of me, so I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'm glad that people are listening. Yeah, it's important. Nothing may happen between now and next spring. Nothing may happen. Things may be okay. Maybe they'll find this healthcare crisis that they caused themselves. Maybe they'll find a way to micromanage it intermanage it in a different way, where they actually don't make a pig's arse, a pig's ear of it, like they have been so far. Just to balance this on a branch here. Yeah, and so that's like, that would be great if that didn't happen. I hope it doesn't happen. That would be very stressful. Even if you had the means to survive, it would be very stressful. And I hope it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, all you can do is do your best to try and make it, to try and survive it. And then things will be okay, I think, after that. But hopefully it doesn't go really bad. The worst case scenario of these superbugs spreading because of a mismanaged and rushed needlecraft program that caused this engineered virus from a Chinese bioweapons lab, manufactured with Fauci money and support. doesn't do its worst, doesn't create a 28 days later scenario, but we have to be prepared if it does. And it'll be okay. It'll be okay, because it won't be as bad as what movies make it out to be. It'll be crap. It could be in some neighbourhoods, in some tough neighbourhoods, it could be dangerous. But, you know, that's the gamble. That's the gamble in the whole thing. Fingers crossed it doesn't happen. Be prepared if it does. And hopefully we'll all see each other in the tribe on the other side. And I think you see, the thing is, it's weird. It's like the beginning of a battle, right? And I'm pessimistic about the actual danger of the battle. But I also know at the end of the battle, the war is over. You know, it's like a Gettysburg kind of situation. That's what's weird about it. It's like the final battle. It's like the final battle at the end. But we still got to do the final battle, and that will be this autumn. And I think all these control systems and all this stuff is put in place because the powers that be are as terrified of the potential of what can happen this autumn and this winter when flu season kicks in, as we are concerned about. And I think they're really quite scared. I think they are. And I think they know the dangers just as much as we do. But there's lots of people who don't. And they're going to find themselves queuing up for, I don't know, things they don't, a bag of rice or something. And look, we're living in a very dark time. No matter how you cut this, you know, even if the best case scenario comes true, anyone will tell you who they're living in an urban area right now that they're hearing sirens 24/7. That's all the blood clots. That's all. I can tell you for a fact they are burying people at the moment. The needlecraft program has. What to say it's a failure would not be entirely true. It's more a case of the panic stations are causing panicking results. So I'm looking down at the undergrowth here, and that's a nice little metaphor for where we'll be. We'll be hiding in the undergrowth while above the dangers may unfold. Let's finish this video by going into the undergrowth, and you consider these things that I spoke about today and ask yourself, what am I going to do to emerge from this undergrowth when spring returns next year? to begin again.